Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Katie Wismer. I'm an author. I write fantasy and romance. I have 12 books out currently. I'm sitting here to refilm this intro because I changed my mind about this video. I was originally just gonna put this up on my Patreon page. I've gone back and forth on it quite a bit. I'm quite uncomfortable speaking negatively about anyone or any company publicly. So yeah, this video is gonna be about my negative experience with this company, and the more I thought about it, I went in really feeling like I could trust this company because I had only seen people speak positively about them, and I may have thought twice if I had seen other people talk about their negative experiences. And since I have kind of mentioned here and there about having negative experiences, other people have come to me privately and told me they also had negative experiences. So I think a lot of us feel uncomfortable talking about negative experiences, and so there just aren't as many publicly out there. So if you go to research this company, you're gonna see all the people who had good experiences and you're not gonna see the bad. So this video isn't to tell you what to do. It's up to you to decide if you would want to work with them, but if you've done your research and you've seen the positive ones, here's a negative one to balance it out so you can at least have a better idea of what you could potentially be getting into. I think that's all I wanted to say. I'll send you back to the original video that I've already filmed. We are coming to you today with something I have never done before. This is gonna be an author beware video. Y'all, I feel like I am a very reasonable person, an understanding person, to a fault. So me doing something like this, like, I never want to put people on blast. The fact that I am making this me of all people, I just need to stress, like, that's how bad this situation was. And I've been waiting until the entire situation was resolved so that I could talk about, like, big picture, the full thing. It's been well over a month and it's still not resolved. So I'm gonna sit here and tell you everything that I can, and then I'm probably gonna make another clip, hopefully before the end of the month, where I can pop in here and let you know exactly how things wrapped up. Obviously, if you stayed caught up on my videos, you probably know already that I'm talking about my experience with 48 Hour Books. Let's get into it. Filming this clip on the 11th of September. I started this project with them, I think back in February. It's not their fault that it took so long at the beginning, but this overall has just been this, like, long, drawn out, from the beginning nightmare of a situation. I am pulling up, if I'm looking down, I'm pulling up all of the stuff on my laptop. So brief recap in case you haven't been caught up on my videos. I made a special edition of the Marionettes series, the deluxe omnibus hardcover, and I printed them through 48 Hour Books, which is not the same as other print-on-demand companies where you can just, like, order 1 or 2 books at a time and the printing cost is going to be the same no matter what. For 48 Hour Books, you have to order in bulk, and then the more you order, the less per book it's going to cost. So my initial order with them was going to be 125 books because they offer a deal where if you pay for 100 books, you get 25 free, which was gonna bring the cost per book down to something like, I want to say, like 40, maybe $45 per book. Like, they were gonna be expensive books because it was all 4 books in one, so it was like 930 pages, and then it had the foiling on the front and the printed edges. And 48 Hour Books, part of the reason why I chose to work with them is because I know several people who have used them in the past and they've had good experiences. And then if you go on their website, the one thing that is all over their website that they pride themselves on is their customer service. It is all over their website how, like, that is their biggest strength. So to have this experience with any company would have pissed me off, but specifically a company that, like, prides themselves on their customer service, for this to happen with them, the irony. So their customer service, with all of the back and forth leading up to me getting the books, was fine. So me, like, getting my files in, figuring out which features I wanted on the books. We originally tried a clear gloss and it didn't look good. So, like, the back and forth as we were making the product was good. Basically, the customer service before they got my payment was good because you don't pay until the books are printed and shipped. So while they were waiting for me to pay for this big order, fast responses, super helpful. The second they got my money, all of a sudden I couldn't get an email back to save my life. So when they say their customer service is, like, their gold standard, I feel like they mean they work with a lot of, like, first-time authors, newbie authors who don't know a lot of things. And so their idea of customer service is, like, they can help you set up if you don't know how to do your files. They can help you if you've never published anything before and you don't know how to do any of those things. They can, like, hold your hand and walk you through those steps. I feel like that's what they think customer service is, not something has gone wrong and now we need to problem solve, because that side of customer service, I have never seen something handled worse. So what happened was I got my shipment of 125 books, 500 pounds of books. This detail will come back later. And of them, honestly, like 100 of them, there was something wrong with the quality. I ended up reaching out and complaining about 72 of them. Some of them had been damaged, and at first I thought they were just damaged in shipping, because you know that happens, bent corners, holes in the covers, scratches and stuff. And then upon further reflection, so each of them was shrink wrapped. It had plastic wrap around each individual book. And a lot of these damages, like scratches on the covers, were inside of the plastic, and then the plastic was not damaged. So it couldn't have been damaged in shipping. This was a damage that occurred prior to shipping, and then they wrapped it and sent it to me. So they saw these damages before sending them to me. So there were the physical kind of damages, and then manufacturing issues, specifically with the printed edges. So a lot of the books had overspray. So if you open the book, around the edges you could see the paint and just like random blobs on the first couple of pages and the last couple of pages, and it just looked messy and unprofessional. That was one problem with a lot of the copies. And then there were also problems like along the edges of, like, there would just be like a white gap where it had like skipped over it with the machine or whatever. On several of the copies of just like random little imperfections along the edges. All of these on these 72 books that I went to tell them about were big enough flaws that I was like, if I sent this to someone who paid full price, they are going to notice and they are going to be disappointed, which therefore to me means I can't sell that at full price. I don't want that to be anyone's experience. I've been buying author copies to do signed books for over 5 years now, and I usually order them from Amazon, KDP, or Ingram Spark. And every single time that I've had to do that, their customer service has been so helpful. We have it resolved within 24 hours usually, and they just give me a full refund for the damaged books. And they'll also offer to replace them. So that's been my experience. Prior to this, I did not expect that same solution from them, knowing it's not as big of a company as Amazon. These are more expensive books than Amazon, but like, don't make me sit here and defend Amazon. The irony also, I had gotten a shipment of Ingram Spark and Amazon books within the same time period, and there were some damaged copies. So while I was going back and forth with 48-hour books for over a month, I also had to reach out to KDP about some damaged books and Ingram Spark, and they both resolved within 24 hours. While I was still going back and forth with 48-hour books. So it was just like, the comparison was impossible not to make. So anyway, I reached out about these damaged books, and the first email they sent back to me, it put a bad taste in my mouth, but I couldn't really put my finger on why it was at first. I was just like immediately off put, but trying to like still be optimistic and, you know, still try to keep a professional relationship with this company. So I was like, okay, I was just trying to be positive about it. And then the longer I thought about it, the angrier I got. So I originally reached out and said, I love the books, but I had some quality issues with my order. There were 72 books. I sent them pictures of all of the damages and explained what the problems were. If you need any more information from me so we can resolve this, let me know. Also, they overcharged me for shipping. There was a negative balance sitting in my account of $234.50, I think they overcharged me. And so I also said in that email, I also noticed this, am I going to be getting a refund for the $234 that you guys charged me too much for the shipping? Their response completely ignored what I said about being charged too much for shipping. No response to that at all. Did not even use my name in the email, just said hello. Like, even Amazon, a huge company, will at least be like, hi Katie. Doesn't address me by name. They say, management reviewed your email and photos. He does want to warn that some of the books have minor issues, as books and paper are susceptible to a tiny bit of glue on the cover. Dents and scratches, especially in the wings, the folds when you open it. None of my complaints were about glue being on the books. He agreed to reprint all 72 damaged and defective books. So please be aware of this in the future. This can be seen in any bookstore across the country. The minor overrun of the spray from the edge printing is unfortunately something we are unable to prevent. We can either send you a return label, or if you feel that you can still use the books, you can keep them at a 15% discount. This is where I was confused. So if you saw my vlog on YouTube, I thought that meant they were gonna give me a refund of 15% on the damaged books and then not have to return the books. That's not what they were saying. We found that out several emails later. If I wanted to keep the books, they wanted me to pay them again, just with a 15% discount. They wanted me to give them another $3,000. So what you have done has majorly inconvenienced me in more ways than one. And your solution is to inconvenience me further by forcing me to pack up and physically return over 300 pounds of books. Like the physical labor of that alone. I live alone. I would have to get them up another like 2 flights of stairs, take them to the UPS store. They're like, we'll give you the return label. Okay, are you gonna send someone to come pick them up? Like, you're asking for more time, more physical labor from me to return them, or to avoid inconveniencing myself further, I would have to give you another $3,000. Like, how is this a solution that benefits me if you're the one who screwed up? So anyway, I initially misunderstood their email, thinking they were just offering to give me a partial refund. They never offered to refund me a dime. And the wording in this email, it just felt dismissive, honestly a little bit patronizing, with the like, please be aware of this in the future. You can see this in a bookstore across the country, as if I've never seen a bookstore in my life or something. And gaslighting, it was just like minimizing the issues that I had with the book, saying books are susceptible to a tiny bit of glue on the cover. There's a massive scratch down the back of this book inside of the plastic wrap. There are white gaps in the printed edges from your machine skipping. This is not some minor bookshelf wear and tear on the book. So then I emailed back, originally misunderstanding, being like, yeah, the discount would be good. No response. A week later, I say, hi, I'm just following up on this. No response. I started a new email instead of responding to the old email, and this time I'm writing like a firmly worded email because it's been like 2 weeks. I haven't gotten a response. There's been no resolution, and the only email that I've received to them is that like gaslighty one that didn't even refer to me by name. So at this point, I tried to keep it professional, but this second email that I sent was a lot less nice, because my first one was like, I was trying to be very understanding, and at this point I'm like pissed off. So basically it was like, I'm following up again regarding my order, which arrives with significant quality issues and damages. In addition to the extensive flaws in the product itself, I've encountered a lack of timely and clear follow-up, with over a week of silence since our last correspondence, no confirmation of the refund or processing timeline, no resolution to the shipping overcharge. And I kind of called them out for their previous message, and a tone in your previous message that came across as dismissive and deflective, minimizing valid concerns about product quality. And then I basically just went on picking apart everything that was wrong with what they said. While I understand that some minor imperfections may occur during production, the issues with this batch go far beyond minor glue or common bookstore wear. And then she gets back to me again, doesn't address me by name, and she says that I greatly apologize for the delay and sounding dismissive. We are replacing the 72 defective books, and I will get that order placed today. And then she says, the books that shipped, the shipping cost comes from UPS based on the weight and location you were shipping the books to. This is how much they weighed, so this is how much the shipping cost. The number that she says being several $100s less than what I paid. And at this point I'm like, wait, what? I did not ask for you to reprint the 72 books. I specifically said, because again, I was thinking they were offering me a discount, I would take the discount because I didn't want to have to deal with getting another 300 pounds of books in and having to ship 300 pounds of books out. I was also traveling back and forth. I had a trip between this. I'm about to leave again, so the likelihood of them arriving while I wasn't here was high, and last time they just left them out front. So the potential for someone to steal them being one thing, but also just like, I live in a rainy place, them sitting outside in the rain while I'm out of town. Also, you just sent me 100 books of questionable quality. I don't have a lot of faith in you reprinting and sending me new books that they're going to be any better. And if I'm shipping back the damaged ones, what if you send me books that are even worse? So anyway, like, I had made it clear I don't want a reprint, and once she finally gets back to me like 2 weeks later, she's saying, okay, I'm putting in the order to reprint the books, the one thing you asked me not to do. So I respond being like, yes, for the shipping, I see that it weighed this much and it should have cost this much. This is how much you charged me. That is a difference of this much. So that pisses me off that like I have followed up about the shipping overcharge, I think 3 times at this point, and it's clear no one has gone back to look at my account to even see what I'm talking about. No one has even bothered to check. So then she says, I processed your credit to be issued back to your card. No apology, no acknowledgement of this mistake that was made. And she says, I put in the order for the replacement books. And so I immediately respond like within 10 minutes of that to try to stop that from happening, because I'm like, sorry if we got our wires crossed. I don't want a reprint of the book, as I have said in every single email that I have sent you. And then I explained, like, to avoid the hassle of shipping these really heavy books, I'm also going to be out of town. Like, this is not a feasible solution to me. She responds the next day, not acknowledging a single thing that I said in my email, not responding to my questions. Like, I am absolutely convinced she has not read any of my emails, not any of the details. Like, literally, it's not like she read it and ignored it. She's not reading them, because all she says in the next email is she just repeats what she has said before. My manager said that we can reprint the books at no cost to you for your defective and damaged books. He also offered the option to send back the books, or you can keep them at a 15% discount. You have already said that. That is not what I have asked. That is not, I told you, no, don't reprint the books. That will not work for me. And at this point, it has finally clicked for me that they're not offering me a refund. And so I emailed her back being like, I apologize for misunderstanding your original message. I thought you were saying this. So just to confirm, the only solution you're offering me is you're gonna reprint them, I have to send them back, or I have to pay you more to keep them. If that's the case, that solution's not gonna work. No response. Over a week goes by, no response to me saying that solution is not gonna work. Like, can you confirm this is the only solution you're offering me? I do at least finally get the credit back for the shipping that they never should have charged me in the first place. But then, so a week goes by. At this point, I have concluded I'm not gonna hear from them again. They're not gonna solve this, and they're just never gonna respond to me. At this point, I have emailed them like 10 times and they've responded maybe 3 times. Like, it has been like pulling teeth trying to get a response. And then even when they do respond to my email, it's like they didn't even read my email because they're not addressing anything that I said. So I basically send them an email just like to get things off my chest, not expecting a response, basically saying it's now been over a week since the last message with no response and no attempt at resolution. At this point, I'm left to conclude that a resolution will not be provided. While I understand that delays happen, it's been 3 weeks since I received the books. We've exchanged over a dozen emails during that time, yet we're no closer to a resolution than we were at the start. I have pre-orders to fulfill and events to attend that we're relying on this stock, and lack of progress has put me in a very difficult position. One of the reasons I chose your company was the strong emphasis on customer service throughout your website. Unfortunately, my experience has fallen short of that, which is genuinely disappointing. Due to the quality issues, I'll be selling the books at a discount, resulting in a loss of at least $800. From the beginning, I made it clear that a return and reprint wasn't feasible given my timeline and commitments. Despite reiterating that multiple times, those points were ignored and no alternate solution was offered. My reasonable expectation has been a partial refund to reflect the subpar quality I received. Literally, that's all I wanted. Was just, I didn't even need a full refund on this book, just a partial. Even that initial thing, misunderstanding, originally misunderstood that they were gonna give me 15% off, which wasn't very much. It was like $5 per book or something. Like, that was better than nothing. I was gonna take that. Something every other printer I've worked with over the last 7 years has been able to handle both fairly and in a timely manner. Instead, my concerns were dismissed as expected and unavoidable. Then, so I have been waiting over a week after my previous email from them, and they have not responded, but I do receive a mass email sent out by like their CEOs to all of their customers telling everybody we've been experiencing issues with our edge printing machines. So we're sorry that we moved ahead with these new machines before they were ready. So we are aware that our machines have been putting out books of not our quality standards. We are aware that they've been overspraying. All of the issues that I've been complaining about, this mass email they sent out is saying we are aware that this is happening and we're trying to fix it. So of course, when I get that email, my blood is boiling because I'm like, that is not what you told me individually. When I reached out to you individually complaining about these exact things, you told me, oh, well, that's just expected. That's unavoidable. There's nothing we can do about it. But then you mass email every single customer saying, we're aware that these problems are happening. We're aware that our machines are not working properly. So then at the end of this email, I'm saying, then shortly after, your mass email acknowledged that you were aware of the problems with your machines. That directly contradicts what I was told individually. And at no point has anyone taken accountability or offered a meaningful resolution. Given all of this, I'll be moving forward with a different print provider, and I'll be advising my community to do the same. So low key, I got an email, I got a response the next day. Low key, do I only think it's because I kind of threatened to tell everyone that they suck? Yes. Actually, no, I didn't get a response to this. The next day I got an email from UPS telling me I had 300 pounds of books on the way to me. 3 emails at this point have gone not responded to, and every single one me telling them I don't want the reprint, this isn't gonna work. And then I get an email out of the blue from UPS telling me your books are on the way. Literally, what the fuck? I said, no, don't do this, and they did it anyway. Not only did they do it anyway, like, this was not a no strings attached reprint. I was gonna get 300 pounds of books to me, and I was either gonna have to send them back 300 pounds of books, or they were going to charge me $3,000. And they did this without my consent. They did this directly against my wishes. So of course, I immediately, when I got that UPS email, emailed them saying, hi, I'm following up on this because I just received a shipping notification about this. I am very confused. I have emailed numerous times without a response, and I have made it clear I do not want these additional books. At this point, I have lost all faith that I'm gonna get a response because she has ignored 2 weeks worth of emails. So I go onto their website where they have like a live chat, because you're like assigned one customer service person who's like in charge of your order. So I've lost all faith in that person. But when you go onto the chat, you get to talk to somebody else. So I go onto their website and I have to talk through the chat, and I'm like, hi, I just got a shipping notification for an order that I did not approve. And the person in the chat was like appalled. They were like, I cannot believe they did this without you being on board. I was like, I can't believe they did it either. He's like, so I'll reach out and I'll start an investigation about all of this. So then I think it was the next day, I received an email from the customer service manager. And this is the first email since I started with all of this a month ago that has addressed me by name. Small detail, but this is the first one. And I want to give props to their customer service manager. At least this is the first satisfactory email I have gotten in this whole month-long exchange. It's like I don't know, I think I'm gonna read you the whole thing. It's a really long email, being actually apologetic, actually taking accountability, and explaining the situation. So like props to their customer service manager at least, because he was left with a shit show to try to clean up after all of this. Let me apologize for all of this, da 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 da. When I spoke with your customer service agent back on the 15th, this email I was receiving was on September 4th. So it has been 3 weeks. I thought everyone was on the same page as far as possible solutions to remedy the issues with your order, da 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 da. So this really leads me to believe all of those emails that I sent over those 3 weeks, no one was reading. And they were not short emails, like I put a lot of thought into them. Like no one bothered to read a single thing that I wrote. So then he's basically like explaining how they typically handle this and blah, 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 blah. Long story short, the solution he offers is the 72 books, since they're already printed, we'll send them to you and you can keep the 72 that you already have without having to pay more. Which at this, you would think is like them trying to be nice, but also they've already printed these 72 books without my consent and they're just lying around. What else are they gonna do with them? They're just gonna have to destroy them if I don't want them. It's a waste either way to them. So then being like, out of the goodness of our hearts, we'll send you these books and let you keep them. These books that we printed without your consent that we have no other use for. Like what else were you gonna do with them? It didn't really feel like that generous of an offer, to be honest. Especially considering like, you have screwed up every step of the way. You have not responded to me. When you have responded to me, you've ignored everything I said, or it's been rude, or it's just been completely unhelpful. You overcharged me on shipping, and then you clearly were not going to refund me on that unless I fought you on it. It took 4 emails back and forth for me to finally convince you to refund me the money that you never should have taken from me in the first place, because no one bothered to go check what I was talking about the first 3 times I mentioned it. You put in an order without my consent, and it's been over a month with no resolution. Like all of these things added up to be an even bigger problem than the initial thing that I reached out about. At this point, I'm more angry about everything that's happened after receiving the books than I am the actual quality of the books that I received. This way, you can sell the new additional copies to recoup any possible losses. That would be an almost $3,000 value, I know, because you're gonna make me pay for it. So I hope that speaks to our sincerity in making this right. Also, I would like to apply a 15% discount to your account for a future order. So for us to make this right, you're gonna have to give us even more money. That's like something small businesses do on like a normal order. Someone buys from you and they put in a little coupon, QR code, 15% off your next order, just to try to encourage you to come buy from them again. And that's on an order that like nothing went wrong on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like a standard, that's a normal thing for companies to do to try to encourage you to buy from them again. Not something you do when you're trying to make up from you fucking up this badly. Like, I just feel like they had already assumed they had lost me as a customer, and so they weren't even like trying that hard to make it right. This started off as something that I thought was going to be easily resolved, and then it dragged on for 3 weeks, and they offered no flexibility in their resolution offered. Like they simply wanted to reprint the books and they wanted me to return the other ones, which, you know, they were just going to destroy them, which is just, it's wasteful, it's inconvenient to me. The wastefulness just like bothers me, because I'm gonna have to pack all of these up, you're gonna waste fuel shipping them back, and then you're just gonna destroy the books when you get them. It's like restaurants that like have leftover food, and instead of donating it to like hungry people, they throw it away. Or companies that like throw out extra stock but they destroy it so that people can't dumpster dive. Like I just hate that business practice, period. Every time I would email them, they would like respond quickly. The first time I would get an email back within like 24 hours, but then once I responded to that with like a question or no, that won't work, I would never get a response to that email. So they were good about like responding one time, and then if anything else came up, they just ignored me for weeks. I was trying really hard to be patient and understanding, but then it like became clear they did not give a fuck about keeping my business. And this print run was about $5,000 that I gave them. So to them, maybe this was like small potatoes. I was actually doing this as a test run to see how this went. And then my plan was to put in an order of maybe like 20 or 30K worth of inventory. So thank God they only got this $5,000 order out of me, because they will not be seeing a penny from me ever again after this. I don't know if they saw my $5,000 order as too small to care about, or if this is how they would treat anyone in this situation. I genuinely don't know. This was so frustrating to me because I know so many authors who have used them who have spoken specifically about how good their customer service is. And so then for me to receive this, honestly, I like could not take it personally. I'm like, my feelings are a little bit hurt. Like, why are they treating me this way when everyone else says they've been treated so well? Like, what the fuck? So all of this is to say, it's now September 11th. It's been about a month since I first reached out to them. No resolution still. They are shipping me the reprint books that I asked them not to. Some of them are currently on the way. I'm supposed to get them in 2 days. They said some of them were damaged in shipping, so they're reprinting those again. So I think I'm about to receive 50 in 2 days, and then they're reprinting 20 something, and then those will be shipped again. So my plan is to give you another clip when those arrive. Are they any better quality? We'll see. They said that they have fixed their machines, and so that I should be happier with these. So we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in that, to be honest. So I have another 300 pounds of books coming to me that I did not ask for, and we'll see how they look. So that was my experience with 48-hour books. I am not the person who's ever gonna sit here and tell you like, don't ever use this company, don't ever do this, because I think that's a decision you have to make for yourself, and everyone has different experiences. So should you work with them moving forward? I think if you place an order with them and everything goes perfectly, you have no issues, you don't require their customer service, you'll probably be fine. But if anything goes wrong, good fucking luck. So it's tough because this is a printer in the US, so they're more expensive because of that. In the past, I might have been like, okay, maybe I'll try an overseas printer because that's what a lot of other authors use and it would be cheaper. But now, with the current state of the United States, with our politics and our tariffs and stuff, I don't even know if it's feasible for me to do that, because I'm gonna get hit with some massive duties and tariff fee trying to get things imported in from another country. So at this point, honestly, I think I'm gonna sell the books that I have printed through them, and then once they sell out, I'll probably just take a break from a while and not try to reprint them or try to find another printer that's in the US. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm really disappointed that this didn't work out, because if I had had a good experience with them, they would have gotten so much business out of me, and they made it very fucking clear that they didn't care if that happened or not. So all I wanted out of all of this was a partial refund on the damaged books that reflected the quality I received. And this company was absolutely not going to give an inch. They were not willing to refund even a dime. Even the shipping that they never should have charged me in the first place, I basically had to beg them to refund me. They ignored me for 4 emails about it. It left a bad taste in my mouth, all of this. But them ignoring everything that I said in the emails, and them offering this as one solution and then ignoring me every single time that this wouldn't work, and then just like forcing it on me anyway. Who does that? I cannot even, you should have seen my face when I got that UPS email telling me that I had these books on the way. I don't know if my blood pressure has ever gotten to that level before in my life. Like I can't even tell you. I was steam coming out of my ears, especially after like a month of back and forth with this and just like being so frustrated anyway. And at that point I had just accepted I'm never gonna hear from them again. I'm never gonna get a resolution. And then I get that out of nowhere. I really expected this to just be like a smooth, easy little test run with them. Never could have expected this. So anyway, I'll pop back in here in a few days when I get some of the replacement books, and we'll take a look and see how they look. Hopefully they're right and their new machines have offered better quality, but we'll just have to wait and see. Some of the books are here today. I think like 50 something. I'm still waiting on over 20 of them. Unfortunately, because I'm in the middle of redoing my office and I don't have the shelves yet, and I've been painting, I took everything out of here. This is part of the reason why I also didn't want to get even more books, because right now they're all just sitting in my guest room. These are the piles of damaged ones. This is the amount of perfect condition ones that I have left. The state of some of these boxes definitely has me concerned. Okay, we got them all down here now. We get to do the fun part. Unpacking them all, inspecting them all. We're probably gonna be here for a few hours, so let's crack open one of these and get to it. Sorry, the lighting situation in this room is tragic, but I'm not gonna do this in the office just to have to carry them all in here. The edges look good. I'm trying to decide if it's like more vibrant than some of the others. It kind of looks different to me. Some minor overspray still on this copy, but not as bad as some of the other ones. I don't know how well you can tell in this light. This is my old copy, this is the new copy. The edges are drastically different colors. I'll take you to some natural light. Can you see the difference now? This one on the right is the new copy. Very different. Okay, we've been through 4 boxes so far and things are looking good. This quality is significantly better than the last print run. These are all of the ones that are good enough to sell for full price. These are my damages so far. The overspray thing is still on most of the copies, to be honest. You really can't see in this lighting. I'll put a picture here. I can tell that they tried harder to not have them damaged because they added this bubble wrap, which they didn't have the first go around. We still have many to get through. Haven't gotten to the boxes that look the most beat up, so we'll see about those. But in general, like, to be honest, this is like making me feel worse about the first print run because it's really just like highlighting how much worse that quality is. But I am grateful that these are looking good so far. Did you come to help? Okay, we have finished. I have 51 books here. They were supposed to reprint 72. I'm missing 21, which should be the next shipment. Of 51, is that what I said? We have 8 that are gonna go into that damaged pile. So at least the ratio is a lot better for undamaged to damaged than last time. I think that's gonna be it for this video's updates. I'm not gonna leave you hanging until I get the rest of the books because I haven't gotten any updates on those. They did tell me that like they were damaged in shipping and so they were gonna reprint them again. I haven't gotten any updates since then. I don't know if they've reprinted them yet. They definitely haven't shipped yet, so it could be a while. You're back. So just here's hoping they don't arrive in the window that I'm gone for book harvest. That's what I have been really trying to avoid. So all in all, I'm pleasantly surprised that the quality is better with this reprint. I'm really grateful for that. So we get to end off this video on a slightly more positive note. So that's nice. If you have stayed here till the end, thanks for sticking with me. This one's probably a really long one. These are now available on my site, the perfect condition ones, and then the damaged ones are discounted. Also, I'm now selling a few different merch bundles. I ended up buying all of the leftover merch from the book box that I was in for the Marionettes. So I bought all of their leftover enamel pins. And then there's a not safe for work print and a bookmark in here. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. This is what it looks like. The bookmark looks like. It's got gold foiling and some character art. Gold foil in the back as well. This is what the enamel pin looks like. So you can either just get the Luna and Lore set, that's one bundle, or if you want all of the stuff, it also comes with a tarot card. You can get the complete set that'll also come with this foiled bookmark and this piece of character art. We'll have everything linked down below. I think that's a good note to end it on. Thank you very much, Mr. Dean. Thank you very much. I guess I also just want to leave this off on not an entirely negative note because I know I said a lot of negative things in this video. Like, I never want to be unfair or unreasonable. So although I stand by every negative thing that I said and it was all true, I am leaving this situation, considering the quality of these books, a lot happier than I was when I filmed the previous clips. So at least there's that. I don't know if I would ever work with them again, though. I don't know if that would change, but I am a lot more satisfied with this solution. I can appreciate the effort that was made, like packaging them with more care and getting them to me. So I can appreciate all of those little things as well. I just want to add that in here as well. See you guys in the next video.